jazzing up your day with a touch of soul. The Living Room on 938 Live.
Welcome into the Living Room on 938 Live. And Indian classical music might feel a little foreign to some of us, but the Esplanade Theatre's bite-sized series aims to make it more accessible with the workshop Raga and Taal, the world of Indian classical music. So with us today is Sarita and Raju, who will take us on a journey to understand the basics of Indian classical music and to explore the rich history and distinctive features of this beautiful art form. So thanks so much for joining us today, ladies. How different would you say Indian classical music is from, say, general music we're familiar with? I mean, there's melody, tune, keys, and that sort of thing, right?
Yes, actually, all music is based on melody and rhythm.
Rhythm, see, clearly I have none. Okay.
And Western music has the additional element of harmony. But otherwise, all music needs melody and rhythm.
Okay.
So in that sense, yes, all music is the same.
So Indian classical music is based on melody and rhythm. It does not have harmony.
Okay.
But all music is based on the same notes.
Right.
You have do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. And in Indian music, we have sa, re, ga, ma, pa, dha, ni, sa.
So it's just called something different.
That's right.
Now I'm feeling a little less scared. So what inspired you to study Indian classical music? I mean, the journey must be a lifelong one. I imagine you never stop learning.
Yes, and actually both of us grew up in India, and we were surrounded by Indian classical music in the cities that we grew up. And both of us very passionate about it. We moved to Singapore. We've been here for a very long time. And
did you see a difference maybe when you moved from India to Singapore, that maybe not as many people were familiar with the art form?
Yes, definitely. But what was very interesting is there was such a vibrant arts culture here. And Indian classical music is so much a part of the cultural heritage here. So we just felt very much at home, and I think
lovely.
we had a passion, and so we thought that why not kind of promote this art form in a slightly more formal way in the form of concerts, lectums, etc. So it's been a wonderful journey. We meet a lot of very interesting people, and we meet diverse communities, all interested, and they all say, oh, this is wonderful, we enjoy this. And actually we've had a lot of people saying, oh, we really feel this is a fabulous experience. I wish we knew a little more. And that is what has, kind of brought us to doing this lectum. And we're very thankful that Esplanade is kind of has worked this out for us.
Tell us a bit more about the workshop. Is it for the uninitiated completely, or must one perhaps have a bit of a music background?
No, I think it's for anyone who's interested in anything beautiful, in music, in diverse cultures, who enjoys new experiences. We obviously, if you have some knowledge of music, you might enjoy it even more, but it is a test drive. So you get it's like the first driving lesson. We are not expecting you to be a Grand Prix driver.
So is it as 101 as here is the steering wheel?
Yeah.
Okay.
A bit like that.
How easy is it to learn? I mean, it might be challenging for you to think back to when you first encountered Indian classical music, because it's so much part of you.
Yes.
To remember what it might have been like to have zero knowledge.
They say you're always learning Indian classical music. When we start, we were told that it takes you 36 years before you can even start understanding what it's about. But I mean, that's
quite a specific number. Okay.
Yeah. But the fact is that, you just have to have an open mind, and it's never too late to begin your journey. I think that's it. It's a journey. And it's a journey, and the more you listen, the more you get involved in it, the more you enjoy it, and the more pleasure it gives you. I think that's the whole journey. So then it's not rocket science, definitely.
You got to open up your heart and mind to it. Music is beautiful, music is universal, and we enjoy not just Indian classical music, but we enjoy Western music, Western classical, Latin American music, Chinese music. So,
have you found that the study of Indian classical music helps you appreciate other forms of music as well, and vice versa, maybe?
Yes, you can see the commonality actually. In fact, Sarita
Rihanna busting it out has common elements with Indian classical music, the rhythm and so on, right?
Absolutely. If you look at the concept of raga, which is very much a pillar of Indian classical music, there are two pillars. It's raga and taal. And raga is nothing but a melody. It's something which has the ability to please the mind of the listener. So it's actually a tune. a melody, a tune. Now, there is this raga in Indian classical music called Bhopali, which is Bhopali is the way it's mentioned. It's said in Hindustani classical music. In Carnatic, they say it is Mohanam. And interestingly, it's a pentatonic scale. So I'm just going to sing the scale to you. It's very, very simple. I'm just going to sing it to you as la-la.
Okay.
La, 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 la. That's a melody. Interestingly, you see this
It's very
melody
familiar
very often
already.
in Chinese music. Exactly. So you see it a lot in Chinese music, you see in Japanese music, it's the same melody. So there are commonalities. So you listen to this, somebody from another culture listens to this, can kind of see all the commonalities. Ultimately, music is all the same. It's a universal language.
I'm loving this and not as foreign as I thought it might be. We've been chatting with Sarita-Sriram and Raju, who are taking us on a journey to understand the basics of Indian classical music. Now, the Esplanade Theatre's bite-sized series aims to make it even more accessible. The workshop is called Raga and Taal, the world of Indian classical music. I'll give you ticketing details in just a bit. Stay with us on The Living Room.
The Living Room on 938 Live. Time now to rejoin The Living Room on 938 Live.
Thanks for staying with us on The Living Room on 938 Live. We're chatting about Indian classical music. In case you're feeling, it's a little foreign, I'm not sure, I'm scared. Don't be. It's all broken down to quite basic terms in the new workshop as part of Esplanade Theatre's bite-sized series. The workshop's called Raga and Taal, the world of Indian classical music. And our teachers today, Sarita-Sriram and Raju, they're going to help us get our heads around it all. But as we heard earlier, it's all very familiar. It's scales, might I say, or melodies that are very familiar. You've said that you found similarities in, say, Chinese music and Japanese music as well. So this must be thrilling for you to be able to. Do you prefer to, teach the one-on-one classes to neophytes like myself, or do you prefer to speak to people who might have a bit more knowledge, usually?
I think both these are equally exciting because, you see a person embarking on a new journey. I think that's exciting because we've had a lot of people coming in without any knowledge at all and coming for a concert, and at the end of it going out thrilled and saying, I don't know anything, I didn't understand anything, but I thoroughly enjoyed
Loved
it.
what I heard.
And there are others who kind of understand and kind of enjoy the experience equally. So I think it's equally thrilling in both cases.
It's about how it makes
one
you
feel.
Yes.
Right. So it's almost trying to teach someone to like music. That's subjective and challenging to some degree. I mean, it's almost an innate thing. If a person doesn't have a feel for it, they maybe never will.
Okay, let me tell you something that the job is made easier for us. And the reason for this is that intrinsic to Indian classical music is raga and tala. And all ragas have actually something called rasa or a mood. And so when somebody sings a raga, you can immediately kind of get the mood that is trying to be expressed.
Despite not knowing
the anything
words
about
or the instruments used and so on.
So the mood could be, or it's a rasa or a poetic sentiment. And this could be compassion, this could be romance, this could be restlessness, this could be many different moods expressed by various ragas. So I think you can just sit there not knowing anything, and you can still experience something really beautiful.
So a wee bit of a preview, so to speak, what will be happening at the workshop, besides maybe giving us a historical overview of Indian classical music. What might people be doing? Have you heard that Singaporeans are a bit shy? We don't want to stand up and do anything funny.
No, there won't be anything funny. We hope to make it fun for everyone who comes. And there's no fun if you can't participate. I mean, it could become such a lecture, jargon, and we could always give you a handout and you could leave.
Right.
So we are hoping that people might get a chance to play both the tabla and the mridangam. They'd get a chance to sing with us, Sa Re Ga Ma Pa Dha Ni Sa or Do Re Mi Fa Sol La Ti.
Right.
They could even learn a composition. They will hear some musicians who will demonstrate all the knowledge that we are trying to share in technical terms, but they will actually show it to them and see how it relates to.
Might help them with
yes.
retention and stuff, and getting an experience of what it's supposed to sound like, as opposed to, like you say, this is
correct. And when they next go to a concert, it won't seem so alien. They'll know what the instruments are and why people are sitting the way they are, and who what they're playing, and how they all come together, how they work together. Because a lot of Indian classical music is based on improvisation. And it's not set music. So it's not like you have a score and you just rattle it all off.
Oh, so a lot of improvisation almost.
Yes,
Oh.
it's almost like jazz. And so a musician who's on stage is actually improvising all the time. So he's a musician
On the spot.
on the spot. So
Right.
he's a musician.
Why
he's a
though? I mean, there
composer.
are sort of set melodies and symphonies, if for lack of a better word, a composed piece. Why would one just being carried away with how he's feeling at that point? Is that right?
So actually, there are two forms, subsystems of Indian classical music, Hindustani and Carnatic. We'll talk about that a little later. But both these have compositions, and these compositions are short. In Hindustani, they could be 4 to 6 lines. In Carnatic, they could be up to, say, 15, 20 lines. But ultimately, you're presenting a piece for 15, 20 minutes, 30 minutes, 40 minutes. What are you doing in that time? So you're
You have
actually
to-
improvising
right,
on the
okay.
spot. You are elaborating on the rag. So that is what you're actually doing.
So how will we be after we've come out of this workshop? Might we be able to perform something, take the stage maybe, or am I overstepping?
Well, as Sarita said, it takes 36 years.
Oh, okay.
Well, it's been said.
So we can't cut it down to 36 minutes.
No, but what you can definitely do is that you will understand and appreciate it a lot more when you step into a Hindustani musical concert or a Carnatic music concert, and you will go out saying, "Wow, this is something I want to experience again." So I think listening to our musicians, listening to the history, listening to clips that we are going to be playing, I think it'll make everybody want to go out and experience some concerts, and perhaps the Kala Utsavam concerts which are coming up.
Which is
just,
coming up, presented by the
immediately after
Esplanade.
that,
We'll tell you more about that soon. A big thank you to Sarita and Anu for joining us today. Their bite-sized Raga and Taal, the World of Indian Classical Music Workshop, is on 2nd of November on a Sunday at 2 o'clock, 2 p.m. that is, at the Esplanade Rehearsal Studio. Get your tickets at sistik.com.sg. We're going to leave you with a bit of a taster of what Indian classical music sounds like. Tell us a bit about this piece.
This piece is in the Hindustani style, Hindustani subsystem. It is by this very popular artist called Sanjeev Abhyankar, and it is in a rag called Malkaunsh. Malkaunsh is a Hindustani rag, and there is a parallel Carnatic rag called Hindolam. So actually it's a rag common to Hindustani classical
Not
music.
to worry if it's all sounding slightly foreign to you. Head to the workshop. It's all going to be explained. But in the meantime, thank you, ladies, for joining us today.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Looking at life from a different perspective. The Living Room on 938 Live.